Hey guys, I'm just doing a Sweden playthrough. A bit of an interesting nation to pick in HOI4. First HOI4 video. I could have gone one of the majors, but I thought, yeah, well, let's do Sweden. Why not? Let's do Sweden, yeah. Bit of a smaller nation, bit more fun, I guess. I've not really had any proper experience in single player, that is, with Sweden. So I'll probably make a few mistakes in my decisions, what I go down, the obviously choices I make. But that's fine. We'll give it a crack and we'll see what we can do. We'll go for the skill level 4 general, Mr. Erik af Edholm. He does have the hill specialist, which I don't know if Sweden's too hilly. We've got forest, plains. No, it's mostly just wintry forests, so hills aren't really too much of a concern. But he was the only skill level 4 general. I don't know. No, that's not going to work. I was going to say we could probably go hill fighter then mountaineer, but I think that's completely separate. So that's the first one we're going to choose because it's the only one we can do. And it says here, war is looming over Europe once again, and there are difficult choices to be made in the Riksdag. None are more pressing than the passage of the Defence Act and its potential to tear the ruling coalition apart. Interesting. So I would like to ideally go fascist. That would be the plan. Align more closely with Germany, expand into those Nordic countries, but that might not be possible. We'll go Defence Act again, it's the only one we can do. We'll go down the central path to increase our civilian factories, our production capacity, and then go from there. Let's do it. Defence Act, 35 days, not a big focus. Get our research set up, so we start with 3 research slots. We'll go construction level 1, get those buildings built a bit quicker. Basic machine tools. We don't have too many factories at the moment, so we'll get that basic machine tools to increase our efficiency. That'd be good. And let's go for electronic mechanical engineering. Let's do that one. Gives us a nice little research boost. So we start with 3 military factories, which it's not the worst, but that does severely limit what we can sort of build. We're not obviously going to be building Air Force for a little while. Any tanks, anything like that, mechanised, probably give that a miss. We'll have to do the basics, so we've got infantry equipment, a little stockpile building, we've got some support equipment. Let's go for either trains or trucks. It would be nice to start with some trains to just get our logistics system up and running, but I think I'll go trucks. Again, same reason, logistics. Yeah, let's do trucks. That does automatically put us in the negative for rubber, which isn't ideal. So we could do the trains, and that's not going to take any rubber. We do have a big surplus of steel, I believe, as Sweden. Let's check that. Yeah, 248 extracted steel. So Sweden has a lot of steel, which is good. We can export that to the wider world. That will give us little bonuses. We do have a bit of chromium, also very good. Some tungsten. Are lacking in rubber, so that's one of our key resources we'll need, as with aluminium, as with oil. So we can address the oil and rubber by doing the synthetic factory research and then building them. That'll take us a little while, but that could alleviate that problem, as we're not really going to get rubber or oil from anywhere locally, so that'll be something to invest in. As for the aluminium, we'll just have to invade our neighbours for that. Wahaha. Let's get our rubber production up and going. We're not going to do somewhere like Siam because that's halfway across the world. Same with Dutch East Indies. So that's going to cost convoys, which we want to try and keep freed up. Let's do... UK would still cause me to use convoys. France, we have a land sort of route with France, so that wouldn't cause any convoys. Let's do them. As for the factory building, let's build up some civilian factories. Don't want to build them up all in the south in case we get invaded, I reckon. So let's go 2 here, another one there. We'll just keep it simple for now. No point overdoing our production. As for the divisions and basic training, I'm not quite sure if I really want to do that just yet. We only have 32k manpower, so if we start training people and do ultimately find ourselves in a war, for example, we're not going to have people to replenish our units. So I'm going to leave that be for now. We do have a lot of militia-based units, which I'd like to change, but again, don't have the manpower or equipment just yet, so I'm going to leave that as is. Get ourselves a field marshal, Mr. Oskar Nygren. We'll have to be careful with that last name, jeez, right. Reorganise the railway system, very beneficial. We'll do that when we get a few more civilian factories. We can build up the sort of supply capacity to these borders here, which would be very beneficial if we want to eventually, which I do, invade Finland and Norway. Let's hope there's no Finnish or Norwegian spies listening to me. So yeah, that's the plan initially. We are missing obviously production, but we have 3 military factories and we just cannot physically produce those planes just yet, so we'll press and pause. Get the show going. Oh, we should consolidate our navy as well. Let's get them all in Stockholm. Get them all together. We'll consolidate our air force as well. I know, look at me using big words. Get them in there. I would train them, but I just want to sort of stockpile fuel for a little bit. I don't want to blow my resources unnecessarily. As for where we deploy the troops for now, let's just get them in dockyards, I guess, on my territory. That way they should, keyword being should, they should get adequate supply and defend against any invasions, which there won't be invasions for a while, but still. You never know. You just never know. So we've done the National Focus Defence Act, the only one we could do, of course, so it's no surprise, but that's good. And that puts us into the Government Commission Recommends Rearmament, which I would also be a fan of because of my ultimate goals. So in 1930 the state appointed a parliamentary inquiry to provide guidance for the future defence spending of Sweden. The Farmers' Party alongside the moderates are pushing for increased spending, while Prime Minister Per Albin Hansson of the Social Democrats strongly opposes this, saying that such a move would cripple his vision of social reforms. Amidst the increasingly threatening rhetoric from its neighbours, the inquiry is now staunchly on the side of the right-leaning parties, stating that negligence in defence would be against the interest of the state and its people. This has caused a governmental crisis, with Per Albin Hansson threatening resignation until he can solidify his base in the upcoming 1936 election. In the meantime, we should appoint someone to lead until the upcoming election. So that gives me 3 options. I can go through the Farmers' Party, which I don't know why I'd really do that, but let's have a look. That would give me war support plus 5%, which is very nice. That puts me closer to that fascist sort of threshold. Infantry equipment production cost lower, again very nice. Increases the cost of conscription law, trade law and economy law, as well as political advisors, which isn't so nice. I'm not too keen on that one, because I am probably looking at getting some nice political advisors as soon as I can. There's one here that says there's no reason why Per Albin needs to resign, so I'm assuming that's the guy I have now. Yep, Per Albin Hansson, and clearly the opposition party on the right. So I did say I want to go fascist. That does reduce my stability, and I believe, yep, there's the thing called hunger scold. So if I dip below 68%, I do actually get protests / riots, which would not be ideal. I can remove that by building my civilian factories, which I plan on doing, so we'll get rid of that. I'm going to pick clearly the opposition party on the right, because I do want to go that fascist sort of route. That does also give me plus 6% research speed, which would be very nice. Let's do that one. So now we can choose a different focus. We have a few more options rather than just the one. So we can do government weapons contracts, not really what I'm looking at for now. We want to expand that sort of civilian / industry capacity. So I should probably do urbanisation. That gives me 2 civ factories, a naval dockyard, and unlocks all these here. Let's do urbanisation. Let's do that one. Ooh, and we do have now Gosta Bag, so that's that fascist dude. Well, he's not really fascist, we're still democratic, but I'm assuming he's right-leaning, so more conservative. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I probably should have gone Farmers' Party for the war support, actually. Never mind. We'd still be waiting a while for the world tension to rise anyway, so there's no real rush. It's actually not looking too bad. I mean, there's one slightly reddish area, but it's really not bad. I'm surprised. I do know that if I start stationing on the borders, though, for example Norway and Finland, I'm gonna start having supply issues. Free dockyards. Let's make that unlimited. Unlimited. Start building up the convoys, which are unlimited. Hell yeah. HMS Gothenburg. Sorry, my Swedish accent's probably atrocious, so if anyone is watching from Sweden, which I severely doubt, but I'm just saying if there is, I'm so sorry. Ooh, a lot of remilitarization happening at the moment, which is good for world tension. Well, bad for world tension, but I mean good in my case if I want to go fascist. Hence why I probably should have gone the Farmers' Party to get that war support up, but never mind, decision made. So Turkey remilitarizes Turkish Strait, makes sense, I mean it's literally called the Turkish Strait. And the remilitarization of Rhineland, again, makes sense. Germany was absolutely reamed and shafted after World War I. They had a lot stripped from them, so completely understandable that they want that Rhineland back, or at least militarization of said Rhineland. Fair enough. That must be a bit worrying for France though, but Mr. Leon Blum, but he's got other problems like his insufficient economy, political violence, which is a surprise for France. Protected by the Maginot, yeah, sure. Disjointed government, Jesus. Victors of the Great War, wow, it's literally just nerf after nerf. And they're limited by the London Naval Treaty, yikes. Yeah, so France is severely sort of limited at the beginning. They really need to focus their, well, national focuses to get rid of that. Yeah, to get rid of these. I have left it historical, so there's not going to be too much sort of, you know, AI behaviour that's out of the blue. For example, the Soviets invading, oh god knows, the Soviets invading the British Raj, for example, that's not going to happen. Well, it shouldn't. But that's not to say that things can change. The AI does sometimes work in RNG random ways, so we'll see what happens. I would like to get rid of that militia when I can, but that's going to take me some time. Mechanical engineering, very good, very good. Let's go. Well, let me pause, there's a few things popping up. We could go radio or the mechanical computing, very good for research, that's good for reinforced rate and coordination. Also allows me to upgrade sort of my planes with those basic radios, radio navigation, and my naval ships as well, I guess. I could upgrade my supply trucks, that would be very beneficial in my opinion, but not really necessary. The production cost is exactly the same, the reliability is 15% better, breakthrough is better, the speed is better. I'm fine with the early trucks for now. I mean, they do the jobs, there's no real point rushing into upgrading those. We did want to go synthetic oil, so we can get that rubber and oil building, so let's do that. That would be good for Sweden. For Sweden! So we got our next national focus done, urbanisation. Gives us the next three down the middle, so this is our military sort of side, this is civilian. Maybe we shouldn't be so focused on that. I might go this route because this does unlock some nice military factories and other focuses. I wonder if there's anything here for war support. Oh yep, that middle one right there, that gives us... doesn't even mention war support, but I'm assuming a decision would influence it. Seize Landswerk, which I don't want to do because I want to stay in a favourable opinion of Germany. I could form the Saab, which would give me some more war support. Oh, that's a good one. Or even this one here, the Navy, that gives me an additional 16. Let's do that, let's try and rush down, because even if we do this we get 2 military factories there. Yeah, let's do that. So let's go to government weapon contract. 2 times 50% research bonus for infantry weapons, funds plus 300. I have no idea what funds do in this, so I don't know if that's good or not. I'm assuming that's good. It's coloured green, so that's good. And gain base war support plus 3. Let's do that. Perfect. My dockyards. Apparently I've got another free dockyard, which is good. We'll do coastal defence ships, so we get a few bigger ships. We are already building a bit of a screening force with their submarines and destroyers, so yeah, let's get some coastal defence ships. Alrighty, this is not too bad so far, in my opinion, but I could be completely wrong. First sort of Sweden game, so let's continue. And funds appear there again with that foreign minister. I'm not quite sure what funds do. If anyone could let me know, I mean, I know that this is going to get very few views, but I mean, if anyone is happy to let me know and just view this, please comment below. That'd be nice. I would switch out a lot of this militia, but they're not even fully equipped yet. I thought I had excess guns, but apparently I'm in shortage of nearly 3k, so that's interesting. Artillery, I'm not even producing artillery and I've got negative 54. Right. Second London Naval Treaty, that doesn't concern me, but for those nations that sucks for them. They get basically limitations on the sizes of the ships that they can build. My cat's just sort of passed out in the corner on a little beanbag thing. She's a little cutie. I think she's sleeping, so I'll just leave her, but it's cute. Norway would be a good target, but yeah, they're in decent relations with the UK. Apparently me. Oh, I got that weapons contract, that's good. Let's go for Norma. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that second word. Norma. Oh, let's give it a crack. Norma Projekovika Brick. Let's do that. It gives me the military factories. I would like to seize Alan from Finland as soon as I can as well, but that does require that additional war support, so I can go down the fascist route and then get this one here. I could go down this route, but then that limits me to communism and democracy, which I don't want to do. And here's that mid-election it was talking about at the start, where I picked my next leader. So 1936 Swedish general election. Today people across Sweden are gathering to cast their ballots in the national election. The Democrats. The Social Democrats are expected to make a comeback as projections indicate they stand to gain several seats in the Riksdag. However, both Bonderförbundet I should stop trying, and the Högern party are hoping that an unexpected swing could usher either of them into power, but with more fringe parties projected to make minor gains among an uneasy world situation, anything is possible. Okay, so that gives us again 3 options. We have Albin Hansen, which was the dude from earlier, I believe. He's the democratic sort of guy, I'm imagining, yeah. He's also reluctant towards rearmament, which I'm not, so I don't want him. Farmers' Party, that does give me the war support which I wanted earlier. Does increase the cost of getting people. Let's go Farmers' Party, bugger it. Yeah, we got this guy now, Axel. It didn't even give you the war support, what? I'm still at 0%. So now I've just basically shot myself in the foot, because if I want political advisors, they're 25% more. Yeah, 187 political power for one, 250 right there. 93 for the cheap ones, they used to be 75, keep in mind. And I don't even get additional war support. Brilliant, brilliant, cheers game. I mean, it clearly said plus 5%, but never mind. Concentrated industry, dispersed. Let's keep focusing industry, let's do concentrated, yeah. I mean, Sweden is a bit spread out, but we are limited in sort of where we build, so let's keep it concentrated. Now we can't really get our first political advisor, not without excessive political power, so we'll keep building that up. We got those additional military factories, which are very nice. We can't even get this one, we need Boater's Fly Swatter first. It gives us again 1,000 funds, not too sure what those funds do, but must be nice. And then research for anti-air. I'm considering doing the Navy, or just additional ones that get me those civilian factories. It's only 35 days, let's just do the Bofors Fly Swatter, why not? I'm going to read that, I think it'd be interesting. Bofors has the potential to set a new standard for anti-aircraft technology. We should give them the resources to do so, and ensure that Swedish skies remain clear of enemy aircraft. That could be useful. I don't anticipate enemy aircraft coming anytime soon, but if I do want to expand Norway-Finland, they won't have a big air force, but it could still be useful. That's more so if I get hostile with Germany or the Soviets, which I don't want to, but you never know. Let's do another one on guns, try and get rid of that deficit of guns. Keep the one on trucks, keep the one on support, and we did have a shortage of artillery, so let's get that addressed. I could reduce one on guns and start building trains. No, let's keep it as is. When we get another mill factory, which we will, we'll start doing those trains. It would be nice to also start investing in the Air Force, but again, I just have to get more military factories. So, oh, this is an interesting piece of land. Bergholm on small land. Utvadat. National Spain has declared war on Spain. Interesting. And Ethiopia has capitulated. So a bit's going on in the world. There we go. Ethiopia, the once great nation that lived here, is now Italian. Rightful Italian territory, apparently. Italy, as you can see. And the Spanish Civil War's kicked off, so that's interesting. We can't influence that anyway as Sweden, but still an interesting development. We got fuel storage, very nice. We can continue to develop that, but that's probably a bit too soon. Excavation, not really urgent, because again, the resources we do have are in surplus, and the resources we don't have, that's not going to affect, so no point doing that. Let's continue upgrading my engineering and then industry. Let's just do both engineering, actually. Sweden will be the engineering powerhouse of the world, yeah? Oh, I don't know, I'm sounding German, but close enough, right? It's not, I know it's not. I lived in Germany for 12 years, so I should know. Humanist, that gives us political power gain plus 15%, negative 5% war support, but that PP is nice. The PP? Give me the PP. The suffragette? No, we don't want a suffragette. Karen, basically. Foreign minister, maybe down the line, not yet. Humble appeaser, more stability. Popular figurehead, again, stability. Ministry of Justice. Oh, that one looks good. But if we want to become fascist, that could do us a bit of harm, because it does give us ideology drift defense. Let's just go financial expert. I mean, negative 15% consumer good factories. We currently have 8 on consumer goods. So 15% of 8, that's what? That would just give us an extra factory, if that. I mean, an extra factory is an extra factory, let's be honest. But then again, let's just go political power. Sorry, I know I'm indecisive. Let's do... not the humanist, because we want the war support. Minister of Justice, let's do him. So resistance target -5, plus 10% political power, but it does give us ideology drift defense plus 15%, which means that our sort of change of ideology will be 15% harder, or 15% slower rather. So for example, we're mostly democratic. If we start influencing the fascist element, so we say plus 0.10, it will reduce that or nerf it by 15%. So let's do it. Why not? I'm a far-right fog, as Sir Keir Starmer says. Yeah, fascism. Let's do it. Both as fly swatter, very good. That's done. So now we can go down. So there are a number of aircraft manufacturers in Sweden competing for lucrative government contracts. By merging them together, we can harness the collective expertise of all of them in a cost-effective manner. Makes sense. Let's do that. So I know I'm not producing any planes just yet, but that will give us an additional 2 mill factories, which would allow me to do one on a train, so I can keep this as is, do an extra train, and then maybe start producing... I don't even have them researched. I was going to say maybe start producing some planes, but I've only got the interwar small airplanes, which are crap. So we'll use those 2 factories to bolster what we have existing, and then we'll research a plane to start producing. That sounds good. Let's do that. It's interesting though that we have planes that are probably higher skill, higher level than what we can produce. Let's see. Yeah, CAS. I don't even have a CAS design. It is interwar, so that isn't really high level. Interwar. Basic naval bomber. I can't even produce those either. So interwar just essentially means obviously that period between or after World War One and World War Two. So it's not the best, you know. It's the technology's not bad. It's just not as good as what you can get, given that it's 1936. So. Like, it does the job, but I don't even think it's worth producing. So we do have an upgrade point for our Bofors, which of course would be resulting from that national focus. And the Bofors is actually an artillery manufacturer, which makes sense given that it makes AA guns. So let's go rapid fire. That would just be for anti-tank and anti-air. Advanced barrel forging, so that's for all artillery variants, makes them more efficient to produce. That's very good actually. Or just big guns. That will give my artillery and rockets more soft attack, but increase their production cost, obviously because they're bigger guns. Let's just go for the all-round one then. Barrel forging. I would like this territory from Finland, but it's not really urgent. I mean, that's not going to make a difference to the playthrough. Well, it will, but a very minor difference. That's what I mean. So we'll probably get to mid-1937 for the first episode. Only because obviously I want to do multiple episodes of this, and if we just do a full playthrough, that's not going to work. It's going to be one, too long, and two, it's just, it's not going to allow me to do a playthrough. So we'll go mid-1937, I think that's good. So we do an effective year, things start heating up a little bit, and we start getting Sweden to a position of potential expansion. Keyword being potential. So many trees. Sweden must be beautiful. And yes, I've determined that just by zooming in on a hard-to-find map. Yes, of course. Mountains and forests would obviously be our biggest sort of terrain factor. So we'd need to get some mountaineers at some point. Definitely need to try and get rid of those militia. But we still haven't even fully equipped them, and militia are much less, like, equipment demanding than regular infantry. Oh, we've got 11% war support, and the tension is at 7, or if we get an extra 3% tension... Oh, never mind, it's right there. Oh, it's one or more of the following must be true. Sorry, excuse me. So we can start going down the fascist route, which I think I might do. Let's do old enemy stirs. Bugger it, let's do it. After a bloody civil war, and a decade of massive industrialization, the Soviet Union is looking to reassert control over the territories of the old Russian Empire, i.e. the Nordic lands, and beyond. If we wish to avoid becoming trapped in the Soviet Union's sphere of influence, we need to act quickly and prepare for war. That was the plan, so yeah, let's do it. The old enemy stirs, let's do that. We do have another military factory now, so we can get those trains I was talking about. Let's start building some trains, probably put them at the bottom. And we could do tanks, but I really don't think that's worth it just yet, because we just have the tech. Well, we're in shortage of artillery pieces and guns. We make 10 guns a day, I think that's pretty good. So that's only going to take me, what, 100 and... oh, that's quite a few, 142 days. Let's go artillery for now, and then when we research the planes, we'll start producing some decent planes. The Saab. Right, so the Saab has a bonus point. And that's my standardized production for all things planes. So let's go production efficiency, that seems like the safest one. Especially with our limited factories, we want to try and be able to produce and retain as many of those planes as we can. So let's also go with fixed tail wheels, which gives us reliability. So production reliability, I think that's good. Sweden will rise again. I am committed to Sweden's cause. Sweden will rise again! Big Mac. Get a Big Mac meal. Could I get the McPickle, please? No, it's a Big Mac with just pickles. I just eat burgers and stuff. I am gonna order food though. I'm still looking at food. Oh, old enemy stirs has been completed. Hell yeah. Okay. So that unlocks a few decisions for us. We can do the island question, get that Finnish territory I was mentioning earlier. Those small islands, not very imperative to our goal, but still a good thing to have. Prevent a red dictatorship. Yep, I don't want to be communist. That will give me a bonus to fascism, bonus to non-aligned, and some war support. It will reduce my stability, which I suppose makes sense. I'm at 68% now. And if I dip any lower, I'll get those strikes of riots. So let's not do that just yet. We're gonna have to drive. We're gonna have to try and up our stability. That would give us +5 and a Civ factory. Let's just do that. I mean, hell yeah, Civ factories, why not? I'm too lazy, hence why I use AI thumbnails on all my videos. I'm way too lazy. Let's build one here. One up there. I'll start queuing up some supply hubs as well for my inevitable invasions. Connect them up to my supply network, which is not a big network as Sweden. I'll do 3 routes just in case they get cut off by the damn Finnish. And we'll connect this one up both ways. And again a third way just to bolster that network. Here we go, we start building up a bit of a supply network. We do have a noticeable gap here. Not a big issue as, I mean, that's pretty, you know, it's not a major concern basically. I couldn't really justify why it wasn't a major concern, but it's just not. It's just not, guys. Concentrated industry. Let's go improve machine tools, 150 days, that's not too bad. I'm gonna stay away from the suffragette, I don't want her. You don't really want a suffragette and a fascist cabinet, do you? Let's be honest. I guess I should use my political power to get one of these dudes. Let's go. Army reformer, let's do him. We are trying to reform Sweden's army and their capacity to wage war in the Nordic countries. Sweden will rise. Rise it will. Oh, work projects for the unemployed has been completed. People who are able to work but cannot find a job are the drivers. Driving force behind radicalism. If we are to avoid people turning against the government, we need to create work projects for the unemployed, as we have done. Hell yeah. That also gave us more stability, which is very nice. That means we can consider doing this one to prevent a red dictatorship, and we shouldn't go under that 68% threshold. It's a bit risky, but let's do it. Let's do it! Just one of those chickens in a bag, just no. Did you drink my Mountain Dew? You drink my Mountain Dew? Oh, that guy's dead now. He was such a good content creator. I miss him. Oh no, sorry, no, he's not dead. I'm thinking of the old dude. I think the older dude who died. You guys probably have no idea what I'm rambling on about. I should just be quiet. Anyway, radios have been researched. Very nice. Radios give us a few things that I can upgrade in terms of my military equipment. I should really look at investing in my infantry equipment. I'm still in the 19 and 18 era for support equipment. Construction would be nice. I mean, any bonuses to expanding the industry are welcomed. Very much so. Ooh, I believe the Spanish Civil War, yeah, it's expanded into a freeway. So now the anarchists are involved. So the anarchists are a pain in the arse because they have death before surrender. So that means they have a surrender limit plus 100%. Which means that, you know, rather than, for example, other nations, rather than taking out a few states and them capitulating, you have to basically beat them all the way back into the last 2, maybe even 1 tile. Oh, if I go the undermine the fascists, I go with the king. I go with the non-aligned king path. I don't want to become a monarchy. I do want that fascism. I love fascism. But it's going to be a bit of a long thing coming. I will try and get that Finnish territory first. Let's do that. Let's get that bit of territory from Finland, piss them off, keep expanding, and then we'll try and become fascist. Grade my artillery. Yeah, I'm still in interwar. Let's go artillery. Arty is nice. And we can pick our first infantry doctrine. How interesting. Okay. So, as Sweden, we definitely... Oh yeah, let's go mass assault. Yeah, we're definitely not going to want to do mass assault of Sweden. We have 30,000 men ready to fight right now. So let's avoid mass assault. Do grand battle plans. That's more around the planning aspect. Can be quite good, but maybe not for Sweden. Superior firepower. Good if you're limited on men. I don't really have the artillery capacity to fully get the benefits from that, or mobile warfare for that matter. I mean, that's more mechanized, yeah, mechanized and tanks. So it's between grand or superior for me. Let's do superior firepower. Bugger it, let's do it. Or we can early mobilise, which would be very nice. But we could get another political advisor, which would give us random little benefits. China and... Oh, a few pop-ups, jeez. So the US Congress passes Neutrality Act, which is pretty standard. US doesn't want anything to do with Europe, and vice versa, which is fair enough. Hindenburg disaster, that's historically accurate. So the German passenger airship Hindenburg was destroyed today while attempting to dock at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in the United States for reasons not yet determined. Perhaps it could be because it was a big floating, I don't know, ball of hydrogen gas, which engulfed in flames and crashed to the ground, claiming 35 lives. Oh, I thought it was more than that. Okay. The Hindenburg, like all German passenger airships, was ultimately engineered to use hydrogen, which provides greater lift but is also flammable. Yes, yes. With public faith shaken by this disaster and the rise of much faster passenger aircraft, this could spell the end of the airship era. Yeah, I guess. I mean, airships are still used every now and then, but to a much less capacity. Let's unpause. We were talking about which political advisor we get before we got bombarded by all those pop-ups. We could try and push our fascist support up, but I believe the focuses do that for me. Let me check. Harsh propagandist, that was the one. Let's do him. And then we'll switch to early mob. Let's finally get out of the Stone Age with my support weapons. Let's do that. We should get that finished territory very soon. Yep, 9 days, that would be good. Finland won't be too happy, but I mean, they have bigger problems right to their east. That big orange block. I know we haven't done much expansion as per my plans, but it does take a bit of setup. There we go, Allied question, they accepted. And that's great, because usually they want something in return, like they want additional construction speed, so that negatively affects my construction speed, as a bit of a deal, but it seems that they've just accepted without anything in return. So it says here, Finland accepts, citing the precarious situation that they are in. They would rather see us controlling the Isles than a foreign occupier. Yeah, see, they have bigger issues. The locals, who are already majority Swedish speakers, have taken this well, and their lives continue as normal. Very nice, that was the plan. We will continue down that fascist tree, but before we do want to maintain good relationships with Germany. That will give us an additional military factory, which would be nice. These ones are probably good to get done as well, though. Oh, we've dipped below 68 stability, that's not good. Let's try and get that up quickly. Let's do poverty reduction. That gives us an additional 2% stability. Let's do that one. That'll put us just in the threshold to be fine. I haven't seen any protests yet, though. Yeah, public unrest, 80 days, gotcha, right, okay. And once this factory is done, we'll do that decision to sort of pump out those supply hubs. 70 days, we should get above the threshold. Yeah, over 35 days, we'll get above the threshold in time. We're building the supply hubs now, so let's take that focus. Reorganise the railway system. That will give us a 300% bonus to building those. So yeah, we get that done now in 31st of July. In a month, we can build a supply hub, something that would usually take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So very good, very, very good. Sweden is rising from the ashes. Well, they weren't in the ashes, they were a fine nation, but I'm just... they are rising. Interesting. So this isn't historical. Amelia Earhart disappears, or is it? No, she did disappear famously, right? Yeah, I think so. I'll have to confirm. But Amelia Earhart disappears. The famous aviator Amelia Earhart, the first woman to complete a solo flight across the Atlantic, has disappeared along with her navigator, Fred Noonan, near Holand Island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The two were attempting a flight around the entire world in their twin-engined Lockheed Electra plane when they vanished. A search for the missing aviator, or aviators rather, is now being conducted by the US Navy and Coast Guard, but there is little hope to finding them. a loss for aviation, certainly. Interesting. Well, that's unlucky for them. As soon as possible. So that's very good. Let's get rid of that. That puts us in that 68% threshold, which should have... Yep, that stopped the riots. That's very good. We can continue down that fascist route now. Oh, but there are some good bonuses here. Affordable housing. Oh, civvy factories. Now let's try and become fascist as soon as we can. We love fascism. The war escalates. Shanxi. Yep, gotcha. And we are still reorganising those. Yeah, we're still building those supply hubs. Marco Polo Bridge incident. So yeah, Japan and China, I think. Yep, they're going at it at the moment. China's sided with its big bloc of other Asian countries, as with Japan with its puppets of Manchukuo, and that's it really. Yeah, it's attacking China. So Manchukuo's doing a bit of progress up in the north, which is good. Japan shouldn't have too many issues, maybe initially, until it can get its Ichigo focuses. So there's like little decisions that give it bonuses, which are called Ichigo for some reason, and that gives it little attack bonuses. So we could go partial mobilization now, which is also very good. We're going to go partial mob as soon as we can. Just, yeah, we're going full fascist mode. Full fascist mode. Hell yeah. Finland and Norway, they're not going to be happy. But Sweden doesn't care. Sweden wants to do what's best for Sweden. I want what's best for the Swedish citizens. We want to expand. We want a strong economy. We're going to dominate. Interwar artillery, that's been done. Very nice, very nice. I'm still a bit ahead of time with these ones, so we'll leave that. We could do armour. Don't really think it's worth it with my production capacity. I did mention earlier I was going to research it and start doing that, so let's just do that. Basic small aircraft, let's get that done. And we do have an upgrade slot for my... is this the gun producer? Artillery producer. Hell yeah, okay. So I could up the efficiency even more. Yeah, let's make it as efficient as possible. I mean, we have limited factories and we're starting to stockpile heaps of equipment, so we can now hopefully change these militiamen over to regular infantry. Let's do that. That puts us probably in the negative. No, it doesn't. Very good. This is very, very good. Okay. We'll get them training up then, and we can even, maybe, dare I say it, train an infantry division. I won't go too crazy because we simply don't have the manpower, so let's just do one at a time. Upgrade my supply trucks, why not? And I feel like I should stick with industry though, just to be safe. Yeah, let's do concentrated industry, get that up and running. We could build a few synthetic refineries, no we can't. We'll have to do some more synthetic research then. In time, that will come in time. So we are actually approaching 1938. I reckon I will call it when it hits 1938. Hopefully we'll be fascist by then. We are slowly turning fascist. But I do apologise, it's probably not been too exciting in terms of, you know, wars, conflicts. This is episode 1, so it is, you know, a bit slower paced. We are just getting Sweden up and running. So yeah, it's been more economy focused, slow and steady. And again, apologies, it's probably not been the most entertaining. But saying that, that sets us up nicely for the next episode, which will be a bit more entertaining. Do stick around for that second one, that should be a bit more interesting than this first one, but I do appreciate you, you know, initially checking out the first one. But I do want to thank you for watching the first episode. Again, I apologise, it's probably not been the most entertaining. We are just building up the country, we are getting it ready for expansion and conquest. Episode 2 will be much more entertaining, I believe. Obviously we're just entering 1938, 1939 is of course when it gets much more interesting. And we should be fascist by that time and start expanding, which will be much more exciting. So I appreciate you watching this first video. Again, apologies if it was a bit drier than expected, but we will take Sweden to a global power, that is a promise. Sweden will rise again. I have no idea why I said like that, but it shall. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I will go enjoy my chicken and pizza. Yeah, I know, how exciting. Anyway, cheers, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Yeah, peace. Right. Goodbye.